Hey there, so today I'm sharing my story of how I went from constant traveler to Spanish citizen. If you've ever dreamed of finding a permanent home abroad, then this video is for you. My journey actually started on a work trip in 2008. Over the years since then, I explored countless countries across Asia, made a home in Vietnam, traveled solo through South America for 14 months, and embraced the digital nomad lifestyle. But eventually, the nomadic dream faded. I found myself broke, exhausted, and questioning everything about my constant travels across different continents. I had hit rock bottom as it seemed at that time. And then, Spain entered the picture. With extensive research, something clicked, and for the first time, I was excited on finally finding home away from home. What happened next surprised even me. Despite my application being denied the first time around, I was able to find ways, made detours, and just made it happen. And now, here I am, sharing my story as a Spanish citizen with full EU rights after just 2.5 years. If you are interested to know more, stay tuned because this journey had more plot twists than I ever expected. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? So, my travel story begins back in 2008, though it wasn't the glamorous start that you might imagine. I was traveling mostly for work, hopping between corporate meetings and hotel rooms. And by 2015, I was just done with that life. I quit my job and threw myself into a 14-month solo adventure across South America. And let me tell you, that was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Yes, YOLO took over. Anyway, that trip changed everything for me. When it ended, I couldn't bring myself to stop. I actually got the travel bug, as they say. For years, I lived in this cycle, traveling for months, returning to the Philippines to regroup, and then leave again. It was exhilarating to say the least, but let me be honest, it was also completely unsustainable. Now let's talk about the reality check. The freedom was incredible, but the constant movement took its toll. Financially, emotionally, logistically, it was draining. I explored most of Asia and South America, even parts of the US. But Europe always seemed like an impossible dream. Too expensive and too restrictive with that infamous 90-day tourist visa limit. And then 2020 happened, or COVID happened. While the pandemic grounded me physically, I couldn't travel. It opened doors professionally. My remote work took off, and for the first time, I was saving serious money. And by 2021, I knew that it was time to find a more permanent solution. Now let's talk about options. I considered my options carefully. First on the list was Canada. However, age wasn't on my side for their point system. Next was Australia because my best friend was living there and she's encouraging me. I did consider it, but for me it was too distant and isolated to other countries that I want to visit or travel to. And that's when I stumbled upon European long-term visas and discovered something incredible about Spain. As you already know, for Filipinos and Latin American countries specifically, Spain offers a unique fast track to EU citizenship with just 2 years of legal residency compared to the usual 10 years that's required for most nationalities. I guess it's our shared history that created this opportunity, and it seemed perfect. Now let's talk about the detours that I had to take. First, I applied for Spain's non-lucrative visa, confident in my application, only to be denied. It was crushing and disappointing, of course, but instead of giving up, I pivoted. Croatia had just launched their digital nomad visa that year, and within weeks of applying, I got approved. So in October 2021, I moved to Europe, starting in Croatia, but with my eyes still set on Spain. The first 5 months in Europe completely transformed my relationship with travel. I wasn't running anymore, I was building something lasting. Eventually, I made my way to Spain and reapplied for residency through Pareja de Hecho. It was a stronger application, and this time I got approved. Then the clock started ticking on my path to citizenship. Now, those 2.5 years in Spain weren't just about waiting for paperwork. I immersed myself in the culture, learned the language, built a partnership, and finally experienced what it meant to have a home while still honoring my love for travel. Today, as a Spanish citizen, I have the freedom to live and work anywhere in the European Union. That Filipino passport that once limited my movements now has a powerful Spanish companion that opens doors I never thought possible. It feels surreal, it really does. But this journey from constant traveler to European citizen wasn't straightforward. It took pivots, patience, and persistence, even hearts breaking. But sometimes the most meaningful routes aren't the ones we plan, they're the ones we discover by following the breadcrumbs forward. Now, if you're considering a similar path or have questions about Spain's citizenship process, drop them in the comments below or feel free to send me an email. Remember, dreams don't always unfold as expected, but that doesn't mean they're not unfolding exactly as they should. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Until next time, hasta luego!